So this is the album by Teyana Taylor. Now, Teyana Taylor had the run of releases with Kanye West 2 years ago now. Her album was called Keep That Same Energy, or Keep the Same Energy. KTSE for short. And I was quite impressed. I thought it was probably the third best out of 5. Oh no, it'd probably be fourth best. Because Daytona by Pusha T, the 2 Kanye albums, and then that. So I'd say it's about the fourth best. It really did impress me, and I was sort of like, okay, I can see some talent coming through here. And she's obviously an actress, a model, a vocalist, singer-songwriter. So very talented, and I was looking forward to getting to this album. But yeah, I feel like the music let her down on this one. She had a monstrous track list, 23 tracks, which is almost 80 minutes. And in my opinion, that's just too long.
That's a movie.
Yeah. It waters down the quality, because there are some really great songs on this, but there are also, for every good song, there's 2 bad songs. So it just sort of negates it and sort of pulls it in the wrong direction. It's very hard to entertain someone over 15 tracks, 18 tracks, but to go push that even 5 or 8 more, which is another 15 to 25 minutes longer, which is quite
that is insane. A lengthy time.
Like movies that go that long sometimes don't even get can hold people's attention. So that was a major downfall. I think if she's trimmed it down a little bit, maybe worked on weaning out some of the lesser songs, could have been better. But let's get into the highlights. So the highlights come back to me with Junie and Rick Ross. Rick Ross was really great on this. Comes in talking about his Hermas wave cap and whatnot. He has a very nice voice for this song. Wrong Bitch is a rant about how I am not like the other girls.
Okay.
I am that wrong bitch. Like, you've got the wrong bitch if you think I'm like them, sort of thing. And she talks about not taking shit from no one.
There you go.
She will not stand for games and what have you. She is quite independent and headstrong. Then we have Still, which has her crying in it, which is a very emotional, powerful piece, very passionate, very...
Could you tell if it was like real crying or...?
I think it was. I think it was real crying. It was very...
That's hard.
Felt very connected to the track. And then We Got Love is a great way to close the album. That came out a few months ago, so some of you that are Teyana Taylor fans or just fans of hip-hop may have already heard that one. And if you haven't, you might know, if you're a Kanye fan, this was actually meant to go on Yandy. There's no Kanye feature on this, so Teyana takes his vocals out, puts hers in, and then Missy Elliott, got tricked for a second there. Miss Lauryn Hill is also in this song. I believe she is at the end. I don't think she has a song part in this. I think she's like motivationally speaking at the end. I could be wrong on that. But yeah, really great track. She's talking about sort of self-love and how love is the new currency, and that self-love is the best thing to do. Find someone that you love, find someone that loves you, things of that nature. Really great song. I will play that. I'll play that now because we're going to sort of move into some of the uglier parts of the album, some of the worst parts. And she talks about having her baby on the bathroom floor with her husband, Iman Shumpert, who is a basketball player.
There you go.
All they had was her, Iman, and some headphone cords, apparently. Don't know what the headphone cords were for.
To tie around the ankles?
Yeah, I don't know. Some sort of tying, I would assume.
Yeah.
Surely you'd...
Well, why else would you mention them?
Yeah. All right, let's see. We Got Love.
We got love.
Oh.
Drums on this are fantastic.
It's very like Kanye Sunday Service-esque.
It is.
Oh.
In the carriage, yeah. I got black love and marriage, yeah. They gon' say you can't have it, but I'm like, don't kill the messenger. We gon' break the stigma, Constables turn to Obamas. It ain't about where you been, where you from, what you got is all about love. Self-love is the best love, when you gon' take that risk, man, That tea party been over, don't need makeup to dress you up. I ain't work on the bathroom floor, just need Iman and headphone calls. Don't let this mic defeat you, I hope this message reach you, put your hands up. Play catch with the hundreds, love isn't no money. I'm just chillin' with the homies. Miss where the heart is, put your hands up.
Very nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a very great track. Great way to end the album.
Very soulful.
Yes, very soulful. Features on this as a whole were interesting. We had Erykah Badu, Miss Lauryn Hill, Big Sean, Rick Ross. As a whole, I think King Combs as well was on there. Some others. I wasn't the biggest fan. Kalani was also on there. I am a fan of Kalani's. I wasn't the biggest fan of Big Sean. He was really the only one that was a big miss. I think the rest did bring a nice sort of change of tone and a change of just a different voice to the album, because it's 23 tracks, and I think we only had 8 features, so there's not that many, and there's a few with, so we have 1, 2, 3, we had Quavo too, I forgot about Quavo. No, actually there was a fair amount of features, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's about 14 tracks with just her, so there is probably only about 8 or 9 tracks with features.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a great way to break up sort of the monotony, because I think although Teyana Taylor has a great... I could have just said Taylor, I suppose. Even though Teyana does have a really good voice, and I think that she has a very good voice for hip-hop. I think for R&B, I think a lot of the R&B women that are at the top right now don't have the most powerful voices. I think they have very raw voices. When you think of someone like SZA, or you think of someone like... who's the other one I'm trying to think of? Or Kehlani or Ginny Aiko.
Yeah.
I think they don't have the greatest voices. Like, they're not like very classically trained like an Adele or someone like that, but they're very raw, very powerful and soulful. But yeah, I think she did get a bit boring and a bit too samey over the whole project, but I did like the breakups. Well, there are songs about breakups, but I did like the breakup that the features did sort of bring to the table. Unfortunately, that wasn't enough to hide the big holes in this album. Some tracks ended suddenly, some tracks were underdone, some tracks were just overdone with like too much production. The worst case of that is called, I believe I wrote it down, Let's Build. Wait, what's it called? Let's Build, which has Quavo singing, which is just not good.
Yeah, I don't imagine him to be a very good singer.
Quavo singing is not good. I think Quavo's a talented artist, and I think Quavo definitely knows what he's doing.
Yeah, but, he's got his place.
Yeah, I don't think that was it. 1-800 One Night, Concrete, tracks like that just weren't good. Too much filler. There was, for every good track, there was a filler and just a bad track. So only a third
like good,
really great.
Yeah.
But overall, I do think that she's very talented, and I think if she builds on this, I reckon if she cut it down to about 14 tracks, so take 9 off, that takes off, what, half an hour almost? Brings it down to about 47 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
Tolerable. Even if you cut that down to 12, then that's great. And I will say that songs like 69 and Friends and... what other ones did I like? The one with Iman Shumpert. I can't remember what that's called off the top of my head. Like, they're not bad, but they're just not as good as the other ones. So they're just sort of like...
They're outshadowed.
I like the song, and it's like good. And if I heard it by itself, then I'd be like, okay, yeah, fair enough. But when there's just a better version of that song, like 2 tracks later, like I just prefer to listen to that. So I only have really like 5 to 7 songs that I would really listen to. There's about 4 more that if I had to listen to, I would, and then the rest are just bad. So it's not a terrible album, but I think that she could have cut it down, and I think she could have maybe tried something a little different with some of the ones that she probably knew weren't as good. Like, I'm sure she knew that We Got Love was going to be one of the best on the album. But then creating 2 other songs or 3 other songs that sound very similar but just like a little bit worse. If she changed up like 2 of those songs to just sound a bit different, maybe it would have had a different result. My closing thing, I want to play Quavo's part because I just think it's funny. And I just want to say that this must have been a huge project. 80 minutes, like all those features. She would have had... so many different like people coming in and out. They could have recorded obviously elsewhere, but it would have been a massive effort for her team, herself, all the features. So everyone involved, very well done on getting this out. And I have tremendous respect for all of you like that, but unfortunately the art just doesn't seem to match the effort on this one. I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. But I will play Let's Build, and I will skip to Quavo's part.
Yeah, it's quite
Why is he doing that?
unpleasant. I think that would have sounded much better in just his normal auto-tuned rapping. I really want to hear the un-auto-tuned part.
Oh yeah, God. I want to hear all of Migos stuff unauto-tuned. But 5 out of 10. I think there's definitely some work to do here, but I also think that this is a very solid groundwork that she can work from the ground up from. So, 5 out of 10.
That's, pretty fair, I think. Be sure to tune in tomorrow because we've got our quiz.
Ooh.
Who will it be? We'll see you then. That's a wrap.